What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Erica Russo Show. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. And if you are an OG, you continue to come back, you continue to press play, you continue to lean into your own intuition, learn new things, grow, expand, do all the things. I love you. Thank you so much for your continued support. Thank you so much for showing up every time a new episode drops. I really do appreciate you guys more than you will ever know. Now, if this podcast is helping you, if it's giving you clarity, if it's giving you those aha moments, if it's just kind of making your trip to work a little brighter, or while you're doing the dishes and you're listening to the podcast, if it's just kind of lightening up the mood, so to speak, I would be eternally grateful if you can head on over to iTunes or Spotify and leave a review. Those reviews allow this podcast to get to more ears. And now more than ever, I think that conversations like these can help a lot more people. Before you go ahead and click submit on that review, make sure you send a screenshot to me over on Instagram at Erica W. Russo. And I would love to send you a free gift for taking that time out and supporting this podcast. So now that that is all said and done, I'm definitely in a very reflective sort of energy. I have been, so the Healers Bundle was on sale a couple of weeks ago or last month, and I was going through a lot of my past trainings and classes that I've done. And guys, this is not I have been doing this since 2019. I have been teaching classes since 2019. It has been a long journey. So I was going through, kind of I guess my back end, and I was, hand picking guided meditations and trainings and everything that were popular back when I first released them so I can put them in the Healers Bundle. And I stumbled across this training that I forgot I did called the Abundance Training. And I think that I taught this back in August of 2019. And I was watching the video of this training, and I couldn't even recognize myself. It was just it was really a bittersweet moment for me to see how far I've come in my own journey. But the content that I share is still very much valid. The content that I share in this training is still very much real, and it's authentic, and it's just talking about abundance. And it was just so sweet. It was just so sweet to see, younger Erica talk about this. And I figured it would be a great podcast episode so you guys can kind of tune in and listen to, an older version of myself, and just how this journey has been for me and how I went from there to here. And it's just been just a beautiful experience. So I hope that you enjoy this training. Yeah, I'm in my feels, guys. I feel like I'm a water sign or something over here, but I know that you guys are going to enjoy this training. So yeah, here goes nothing. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to August training. And this month we are talking about abundance and how we can live an abundant life. And I'm going to be giving you some things that you can do to call in more abundance, to live in abundance. So, being an Aquarius and being that I need to know all the things, I went up and looked up the definition of abundance. And what it states is abundance is just a large quantity of something. It's more of, right? It is whatever you call in. So say you want more freedom, say you want more love, more gratitude, more peace. That's what abundance is. It's just a larger quantity of something being called in. So we need to understand that it's like in the spiritual community, that word gets tossed around like, it's like a freaking salad, as well as manifestation, right? We have to remember two things when we're talking about those two, abundance and manifestation. One, we are natural born manifestors. It is setting our intention about manifesting what we want rather than just manifesting, without our intent, okay? And abundance is we are abundance. We are already living in abundance. It's just learning to be aware of it. So, we're going to talk about 5 things that you can do every single day that will allow you to live in your abundance, to live in gratitude, to feel just how beautiful this life is and how grateful we have to be for it. Okay? So, the first thing I want to talk about is this is a very simple thing. It's probably, a duh moment for you guys, but to live in more abundance, we need to raise our vibrations. We need to be cognizant of our blah, 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 of our vibrations because, within the 12 universal laws, the law of vibration is whatever you vibrate at is what your reality is. That's the reality that you are bringing in. So the higher the vibration, the better the life, the more joyous the life, the more happy the life, the more fulfilled you are. So, raising your vibrations, we all know how to do it, right? We all know that to raise your vibrations is basically find something that really makes you happy. Find joy and do more of it, right? So, for me, some of the easiest things that I do that help me raise my vibrations is 1, I meditate, 2, I dance and I listen to music and I dance around, by myself looking like a weirdo, and 3, I express gratitude every single day. And those 3 simple things allow me to have a higher vibration. Whatever it is that you enjoy, it could be yoga, it could be walking or playing with your dog, it can be, reading trashy romance novels. What brings you joy? What makes your heart warm? What makes it feel so good? And do more of it. That's how we raise our vibrations. And it's also important with vibrations that we need to be aware of the vibrations around us. How are the people around us vibrating? Are they high or are they low? Because especially when you're sensitive, we need to be cognizant of the people around us because they can lower our vibration. So that's number 1. Number 2 is create happy habits. Now, I know this is you're probably sitting there being like, well, duh, we need happiness. Yeah, we do need happiness. And we need to understand that we need to put it on our schedule. We need to put the things that make us happy on our schedule because it is so, we all know what makes us happy. We all know what we enjoy, but do we have it on our schedule? Or is it something, that we do once in a blue moon when we have a free minute? We're never going to find the time to make the things that make us happy. We're never going to find the time to do those things that make us happy. We need to make the time. We need to put it in our calendar. When we have, 30 minutes, when we have an hour, when we have an evening off, figure out how you're going to bring that into your life. Like I said, abundance is a mindset. It's not anything more than that. Okay? But we have to make the action, we have to take the effort to create that mindset. We need to create our own reality. So, putting in happy habits, what I do and what really works for me is that I literally have a list of 5 things that make me happy. Okay? And I have it on my fridge and then I have it in my bedroom. I have it, within my eye vision so I could see it. So when I'm going in the morning and I'm, getting my creamer for my coffee, I see it. It's in my mind's eye and I say, okay, I need to do some of those things, right? I don't usually do all 5. I'll do like 2 to 3, but still, we need to, hold ourselves responsible for bringing in happiness. That's the law of action. So that is the second step. Now, the third step I want to share with you guys is a super powerful, super potent, I'm like all tongue-tied today, super easy, heart cohesive meditation. Now, it doesn't even have to be a meditation, but what this does is this exercise allows your mind and your heart to kind of get in unison with each other and balance. All right. Because us as humans, our minds can be like all the way over here and our heart is still here. Right. This simple technique allows that energetic. What's with me today? Oh my gosh. Anyway, so this simple technique allows our mind and our heart to just come as one and to work in unison, so we're all like not all over the place. All right. So there is a heart coherence meditation in the download section for you. Go ahead and do that. Let me know how that feels. And again, you don't even need the meditation so long as you know the steps. And the steps are super simple. Like I said, what I do is I'll put one hand on my stomach, one hand on my heart. And I'll try to feel the energy moving through these two things. And then you have to focus in on your heart and your chest. And with every breath, you notice, a golden white light coming in and allowing it to clear away any of that nasty debris within our heart chakra. And then you have to focus on gratitude. Think of someone that you are grateful for, a time in your life that you were grateful for something, for someone, for a relationship. And you allow that gratitude to just totally expand into your consciousness. So that's the heart cohesive meditation. Again, that is in the download section for you to use at your pleasure. So another thing that's going to help you live in more abundance are things called pattern interrupts. Now, this might sound really, weird, but it freaking works. I know from experience. Pattern interrupts are simple phrases. They're kind of like affirmations, but they're not as powerful as affirmations, I would have to say. And the glare is really bad. Maybe if I sit like this, that's better. Pattern interrupts are things that you state out loud before you get into that negative thought pattern, right? So a perfect example of this was, for the longest time when I would go grocery shopping, I would go and I would be at checkout, and as the total rised, I would be freaking out. I would start feeling, like my heart kind of like not feel good. I would start just like getting all emotional and just like not happy with the total, because I suffered a lot with mom guilt, like not having an income coming in, because we're a working family and life costs money, and it's really, I struggled with that for many years, not having an income. So with that, I just remember when I'm like swiping my card, I would literally drive home from the supermarket just like feeling horrible. Like, oh my God, I can't believe I just spent that much on food, on toilet paper, on cleaning supplies. Like how are we going to have money left over for the week or something like that? And that would start such like a funk for me. I would be in a funk for the rest of the day because of it, because I was just like, I can't, like I have to cut more coupons, or I have to buy more things that are on sale. And it's like, that just created such a negative impact in my life. And now that I've learned about pattern interrupts, what I do is when I'm checking out, before I swipe, like as soon as I have my debit card in my hand, I'll literally look at the cashier and just be like, there's more where that came from, and I swipe. And with that positive, saying, it like stops the negative thought process in its path. Serious, like it's like crazy. As long as I say that, and yes, I do get weird, eye rolls, and I get weird looks from like the cashier and stuff, but I don't care, because it allows me to stop that negative thought pattern right then and there. Okay. So it doesn't even have to be about buying groceries. It could be when, you're in a fight with somebody or something happens or something, along those lines. I know one of my clients, what they did was they deal with a mother that lives with them, and their mother has some narcissistic tendencies. And I told her about this because she said like it really affects her. Like it really, when her mom, gets into those moods where she is very unfair, it really affects her well-being. And I told her about pattern interrupts. And what she states is, I can only lead a horse to water. I can only lead a horse to water. And with that, it stops the flow of energy to that negative thought process, right? It like puts up a blockade. So you're not going into that downward spiral, which is super, super powerful. So you can stay in a state of gratitude. So again, this can be something like, whatever is a trigger for you. You need to figure out your trigger first. And then when you notice that trigger, you have to think of a saying that's going to like snap you out of it. All right. So that is what a pattern interrupt is. Now, another thing that I wanted to talk about is tiny steps and leaps of faith. This one, you might not think is important, but it's freaking important. We aren't going to grow in our comfort zone. We are going to stay comfortable in our comfort zone, regardless of what it is. If it's physical activity, it's trying to lose weight, if it's trying to just be a better version of yourself, you don't grow in your comfort zone. Remember that. It's the leaps of faith. It's the times that you step out of your comfort zone that's going to really create big waves in your development. So bring in more leaps of faith into your life. And what I mean by that is leaps of faith are just simple, like, if you are wanting to grow your business and you want to hire a coach and you've been listening to this coach for a long time and you really want to set the intention to work with this coach one day, go ahead and book a discovery call with this person. Feel that energy, feel that connection within this person. And this is going to get you amped up, right? This is a leap of faith. And, just let this coach know, or let this person, whoever you want to hire, know that, like, listen, the time isn't right now, but I'm trying to like manifest you, right? I'm trying to set my intentions. So within a couple months, maybe I'll hire you. And don't feel like you're going to piss off the coach, because I feel like any good coach is going to love that. Any good coach is going to want you as a client, because you are taking action on your dreams. You're taking the next steps. You're getting outside your comfort zone. And a real good coach is going to want to see that in a client. Okay. So don't think that it's like rude or anything to, set up a discovery call or email a coach and just say, I really want to work with you. Because first off, it makes the coach feel good. And second off, that's the kind of client I want. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but a good coach is going to see that they want someone like you as a client, right? So tiny steps, right? That's a leap of faith. And another leap of faith that you can do is, like, if you are ready to buy a new car and you have your eyes set on one, but it might be a little too expensive, go ahead and drive it. Go ahead and schedule a test drive. Feel yourself in that car. Allow yourself to really remember how it felt, pulling out of the dealership. And when you're trying to manifest that, allow yourself 2 to 3 minutes a day to focus on that feeling. Focus in on it. Remember how the leather seats felt. Remember how the engine felt when you turned on the gas. Like, that is how you manifest something. But those leaps of faith, those are going to get you outside of your comfort zone for a little bit, right? So remember those leaps of faith. Do it often. Try to do it as much as you can, because that's how you grow as a soul, and that's how you grow as a person. And that's how you bring in more abundance. So tiny steps. Now, tiny steps can be terrifying, right? Like, they can be absolutely terrifying. So tiny steps are simple things that are just like a little step outside your comfort zone. I'm like literally doing this on the table while I'm doing this. So anyway, these are tiny steps. So this is like going live on your personal page or going live in a group or setting up a business account for your business or something. These are tiny steps, but they are huge. You are showing the universe that you are ready and that you are working for your goals. So do tiny steps and do leaps of faith. Now, those are 5 things that you can do um, to bring in more abundance into your life. And then in the download section, like I said, there is the heart cohesive meditation as well as some journal prompts that I want you to do. So go ahead and download both of those. Do your journal prompts. We will talk about the journal prompts in the group coaching call later this month. And yeah, call in more abundance, girls. Have fun with it. I'll see you later. Bye, guys.